Watch it like everybody else watches it on Twitter, to watch highlights of dudes who did some Superman type stuff or dudes who had accidents with their pants. These two simple ideas, I'm giving them to you for free. No, I'm not. If you find this video and do it after, I want my money. Unlike the NFL, they don't have 4 years of review to do on us at our previous gigs. Thank God. So for those of y'all who don't know, like Way Off Wednesday has really been Way Off Weekend or Way Off whenever, because you know your girl's not consistent. So the fact that we're doing this on a Wednesday, this is indeed a wow moment. Get it? Way Off Wednesday. Wow. Doesn't matter. Welcome into your Way Off Wednesday, your weekly dose of everything sport, a little society, and a crap ton of foolishness for the sports novice and sports junkie alike. Now let's get into the NFL Combine. But before we do that, did you subscribe yet? So if you like way off content, if you like sports, if you like a little society, I haven't talked about society yet, I don't know, but I'm going to. If you like food, then you need to go ahead and subscribe. You want to know why? Because I do that here. Okay? Be a little off. Just press the button. You just press the button, okay? Press the button, press the bell notification, and join the, I don't know, just subscribe, okay? That's all I'm asking you to do. All right, NFL Combine time. I have my grievances, like I do with everything, okay? NFL Combine is stupid to me. It's actually pointless. I get why they do it, though. It's a money grab, okay? Unlike the NBA, we don't have developmental leagues and we don't have summer leagues. So from the time the Super Bowl ends to the time training camp begins, we have this gap in time where people who like watching contact sports can't watch them anymore. We like contact sports, and this is the closest thing they can give to us. Now, if you watch my previous video on the XFL, there are ways that we can change that. But you know, nobody wants to listen to me anyway. Watch the video. NFL Combine. A bunch of dudes in suits who own stuff up in suites drinking and smoking cigars, talking about things that have nothing to do with football because they have to be there for the optics. And a bunch of guys who haven't played football in 40 years on the field, or probably never, watching guys work out. Dumbest thing in the world to me, okay? And there are a couple of ways that I think that they can fix it. But first, why? Why are you going to have guys, the best of the best to you, in a controlled environment, in a controlled climate, do the same drills that they've been practicing for 4 months to perfect? It shows me nothing in regards to your potential. Now, to play devil's advocate, I understand to an extent. Because when we, normal folk who don't make nearly as much as they're gonna make, go into job interviews, they're essentially basing our potential off of what we said our skills were and our experience to gauge if we're gonna be a good fit for a team. But unlike the NFL, they don't have 4 years of review to do on us at our previous gigs, thank God. But I find the NFL Combine to be pointless if you saw what they did against the best, against the worst, and honestly, with the advent of social media, what they do in their spare time to get a good idea of their character, because they have that interview section. So I think it's pointless. It's just a money grab, and honestly, doing some drills tells me nothing about what you can do, because from the Combine, we've had plenty of flops. Again, watch my XFL video. We're gonna talk all about that there, or we did. But they can fix it. They can honestly put more money in their pockets, and they can get a better gauge of what they're gonna get if they follow these two simple ideas. I'm giving them to you for free. No, I'm not. If you find this video and do it after, I want my money, but we're here now. Number one, do what the XFL did. Make it fan-centered, okay? When I watch the NFL Combine, I don't want to hear old dry commentary about this dude's measurables, about how he's dual threat, about how he ran that 40 faster than any time, that he broke this record. I don't care, okay? That's why I haven't watched the NFL Combine in like 2 or 3 years. I watch it like everybody else watches it on Twitter, to watch highlights of dudes who did some Superman type stuff or dudes who had accidents with their pants. The NFL Combine would fare really well with the use of social media and the fans. Again, controlled environment, guys are still going to be kind of anxious because they're performing for teams that they've had lifelong dreams about playing for. But add an extra element of 100,000 fans in Lucas Oil, real sounds, real commentary, real cuss words. How do you expect them to play in front of 100,000 fans on Sunday if they can't do it during a practice drill? I mean, even at the individual schools where they have their little mini combines, they have some fans who are allowed to join. They have media personnel, they have families, et cetera, but they have to face those people and they have to face some of their biggest critics. That's going to show you a lot. That's going to show you about their character, how they work under pressure. And that's really what we're doing, because if we were really doing this right, we're trying to gauge if they're going to be a good fit, or at least based on what they're doing now, they're trying to gauge if these guys are going to be a good fit on their potential, their measurables, and on their character, because that's when they do those little interviews. That tells me nothing, because honestly, if your game film tells me that you can do X, Y, and Z, and you're doing halfway decent during these little stupid little drills, and regardless of if you got into some trouble, the GM knows you can make me some money, I'm still going to pick you in the first round. So whatever. But showing how these guys can act in a rough environment and a critical environment is going to tell me a lot more, because they don't really have a certain fan base per se cheering them on, because they don't belong anywhere yet. We can also add the element of social media. Everybody has a Jumbotron. Put some tweets on the Jumbotron of what these people are thinking in real time. Not only does it give the NFL market research, you're welcome, but it gives you a feel for how these guys and gals feel about the players, how they feel about the event, and if this dude sucks or not, and if they want them on their team. Y'all remember the drum line where when the guys were auditioning, they had the upperclassmen in the cars flashing their lights to tell them what level they needed to be?
Mr. Miles, I guess you didn't like the required piece as written.
Nah, I just thought I'd add a little something on the end.
He can play. We all know that, but his attitude is messed up.
Your line seems to think otherwise.
Kind of the same thing. If you haven't, just go watch Drumline. Great movie. Now, second and last thing. Get these guys some contact, okay? I think the NFL Combine is trying to do the thing where they make sure that the guy's health is intact, and they're doing this in the safest way possible, because the draft is literally right around the corner after that. But you didn't care about their health during the Senior Bowl, and they could have caused the same injury then. So it's kind of better to figure out if a dude's injury prone now than later. That sounds really harsh, but I mean, everything sounds harsh these days. So get on me if you're going to get on me about it. But put them in contact with people. Again, if you watched my last video on the XFL, you would know that I thought that the NFL should absorb the XFL and use it as a developmental league. Even if they don't use the XFL as a developmental league, they need to get a developmental league where they put the practice squad, the injured reserve players, and the guys who are trying to make another run at the NFL. You know, those guys that they had a shot, they got rejected from the NFL, and then they go back to their schools and they try and do the workouts again to see if they can get a roster spot. Yeah, so put them all on one team and have them play against the cream of the crop coming out of college. Because you know, the people who have nothing left to lose are ready to embarrass some people who think that they know what they're doing. These guys have run through the drills. They've probably had a shot in the NFL. They know what it takes. And everybody thinks they're big and bad at every level until they get to the NFL, where they realize everybody is bigger and badder. Perfect opportunity for the fans to get involved, the fans to watch, because heck, I would watch that. And it would give you a better look at where these guys stand in the playing field. Again, guys being anxious, guys being nervous, this being a different environment for them doesn't matter to me, because they're going to have to play on Sundays anyway. But getting them out in front of these guys early not only gives some new guys a roster spot, or some old guys a roster spot, but you gauge whether or not you're going to spend that $35 million guaranteed on this new quarterback. Get my drift? That's all I've got to say. I'm Dominique. I'm way off and I'm way out, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Hopefully. Peace. Did you subscribe yet? Just press the button. You just press the button.